We're back on the block for another week of sports talk with you. Actually, it's an interesting week because Eric Strickland, the Husker Hall of Famer, longtime NBA vet, is not joining me right now. He's packing and potentially already on the road. He is moving to Nebraska, so we can't wait for him to be in studio as soon as Wednesday, I believe. Well, no. See, now the days are already throwing me off. I think as soon as Thursday. I think the next 2 days are travel days for our buddy Strick. So he's going to be out, but we are happy to have our producer and our my co-host for the Take a Water Cooler, Nate Britton, here with us on the block. Nate, seems like I just was talking to you. That was a short break.
You were just talking to me.
Oh, yeah.
Things are getting a little weird over here. I'm looking up 2005 Notre Dame football, the inaugural season of Charlie Weiss.
Yes. That's a Jimmy Clausen year.
No. This was still Brady Quinn.
Oh, Brady Quinn. Yeah.
This is Brady Quinn. Jimmy Clausen took over as a true freshman. Oh my gosh. And then the next year they went to the Sugar Bowl. That team was really in Charlie Weiss's third season. That's when Jimmy Clausen took over and they went 3-9.
I once watched a game. I don't remember what it was. Remember when Tate Forcier for like 3 weeks we thought was going to be like the next Heisman Trophy winner?
Yes.
And they played this great game with Michigan with Notre Dame. And Notre Dame needs to play every year for what it's worth. One of my favorite rivalries. But in any case, it was like Rich Rod and Tate Forcier in Michigan beating Charlie Weiss and Notre Dame. And we just thought it was the greatest thing ever. Yeah. You know, it was like one of the best games. And then by the end of the year, like one of them wasn't going bowling and one of them was like 7-5. And it was like, we blew that up. We did that a few years ago with a Texas game too. Gosh, what was that? Remember they had an absolute shootout. Was that Notre Dame too? I can't remember who it was. But
who was the quarterback?
Was
it Ellinger?
I think it might have been Sam Ellinger, or who was the quarterback before? They had a few like guys that were like had some good games and then had some.
Notre Dame
misses.
had some very odd quarterbacks in there for a while. It was Deshaun Kaiser, and then it was
who was never good.
Malik Zaire, the lefty. Remember him? He wasn't very good either. I'm trying to think who is even Notre Dame's quarterback last year.
Yeah, last year. That's actually pretty hard to think of.
Oh, it was Jack Cohn.
Oh, that's
from
right.
Wisconsin.
That's right.
Jack Cohn is on the Colts practice squad.
Nice.
Yeah.
Who was the Notre Dame quarterback 2 years ago? I actually kind of liked him. The names are all starting to blend together, though. So I can't even remember.
It was because Jack Cohn, he transferred. It was Notre Dame. He was a quarterback
for like 3 years.
He was there for a while. Yeah. Oh my gosh, it wasn't Deshaun Kaiser.
No. There's no way we're going to remember it. So for some reason, we're just trying to remember certain Notre Dame players.
I should know, too. I wonder if my dad's listening because he'd be like, what are you doing right now? Oh, my gosh. All right. Listen to Notre Dame core. I'm sorry. Dane Christ. Oh, my God. That's a throwback.
That was a big-time recruiting get.
Dane Christ was supposed to be really good.
Yeah.
That is true. No, not...
Ian Book, thank you. Somebody else.
Ian Book,
Ian
thank
Book,
you. Yes. Ian Book's in the NFL.
Yeah.
Okay, thank you, Texter. Nebraska ball fan. Oh my gosh, Nebraska ball fan knowing about Notre Dame football. I'm impressed. All right, we can stop talking about this. Let's actually talk about Nebraska football. Buck, talk about your magazine. Let's get into this conversation.
All right. You want to get into the magazine?
Yes, I want to get into the magazine because I'm very excited to argue about this.
Well, there's a few different things. I've seen that just recently. So it's football magazine, like preseason magazine,
which you love,
day or type. Yes, I have every one with the Nebraska player on its cover. I believe since 1999.
Are you serious?
Yeah, I've got a whole stack of them back at the house.
Pretty cool,
I should bring them in. I should have been bringing them in all along for you to kind of look over what the preseason expectations were for each of these seasons. But it's fun to kind of go back through. It's hilarious because most of the time they do like hey, this is probably what the NFL draft's going to look like in a year. And it's so
never right,
different. Yeah. So they're always fun. And usually they're quite a bit off on their predictions. But, it's the same as we kind of know how college football goes. There's 7 or 8 teams that are going to be at the top. So they can't swing and wildly miss too bad. For what it's worth, surprise, Lindy's this year is picking Alabama to win the national championship.
It's a pretty safe bet. You go that, Georgia, Ohio State.
Clemson's a bit of a different deal.
Clemson, you said one of those for you. It's a pretty safe bet. I would say you're probably 90% chance of getting it right.
You need to put Oklahoma in the playoffs, but don't pick them for the win.
That or maybe USC. USC
Or
would
Notre
be a sleeper
Dame.
this year.
Yeah,
Or Notre Dame. Yeah. No, if you picked any of those first 4, you're probably good.
yeah. He'd probably be pretty good.
I think Ohio State might be your sleeper this year, but we can get into that.
By the way, someone at the text line says Ian Book is the all-time winningest quarterback in Notre Dame history.
Is he really?
Good shout out. Yeah.
I would have never
And
guessed
Brian
that.
Kelly, the all-time winningest coach.
I
there.
did know
is
that.
interesting,
I
yeah.
would not have guessed Ian Book is the all-time winningest. I would have guessed Jimmy Clausen because he started as a true freshman.
Yeah, but he didn't win too much down the stretch of
didn't.
his career.
He won because then when he started growing his hair out and got turf toe, that was a weird time. That was a really weird time.
I liked long-haired Jimmy. Actually, that's my
Jimmy
favorite one.
Clausen was terrible.
Oh,
Because his hair was thinning. I mean, he was basically half bald. It was halfway up his head, and he's growing out his hair. Oh, it was terrible.
yeah.
Oh, it was bad.
Remember what Mel Kiper Jr. basically said if Jimmy Clausen wasn't an all-pro player, he'd like retire in 3 years or something like that.
I do remember that. What are we doing right
He
now?
really believed him. I will always say Jimmy Clausen didn't get a fair shot in Carolina.
I would agree with that. Or in Chicago when he went to the Bears too, he didn't get a fair
Well,
shot.
at some point, I think he was figured out that he's not your franchise quarterback.
He was out of high school. He was like the
Oh, I
Messiah.
know.
Like he was
Yeah.
supposed to be legit. I remember because when they got him at Notre Dame, it was like a huge deal.
Oh, yeah.
It was like, he's going to turn around the program.
His older brother, Casey Clausen, was really good at Tennessee for a while.
That's right.
Yeah, there's a Clausen family.
You got a good memory, Buck. I
Oh,
will
yeah.
give you that. I completely forgot about Casey Clausen, to be honest with
Yeah, never forget about Casey Clausen.
you. Right. Something like that, right?
Yeah, I don't know why you would remember that, but I did. Anyway, let's get to Athlon's. Let's just run through kind of some interesting comparisons here between Athlon and Lindy's
Okay.
with their choices for at least Nebraska selections in their first team. And just because I'm not going to run through all the teams, but I'll just run through some of the names that you might know on the first teams in that both these publications have, because it makes sense. CJ Stroud, first team quarterback. Braylon Allen and Travion Henderson, first team running backs from both
Travion
publications.
Henderson, the one that got away. Guess where he's from?
Virginia.
Virginia.
Yeah. You've
yeah.
told us that
Yeah.
before.
Trust me, I'm still upset about it.
Jackson Smith and Jigba and Jaden Reed.
Yeah.
Of course, Jaden Reed of Michigan State. These guys both in both publications are first team. And Blake Corm, for what it's worth, is on Athlon's. Trying to look. Sam Laporta, the Iowa tight end. Look out for Iowa's
Okay.
tight end usage
Right.
is on both first teams.
As
there.
always, yeah. No surprise there.
Makes sense. Paris Johnson of Ohio State, Peter Skronsky of Northwestern on the first teams of each respective offensive side. Defensive side, I don't know if there's as much just obvious guys there. Jack Campbell of Iowa, Nick Herbig, both linebackers at Wisconsin. But in any case, let's get into Nebraska's first pick here on Athlon. They have a first team linebacker, Garrett Nelson.
Wow.
How about that?
If I had to pick one person to be a first team on the defense, I don't think it would be Garrett Nelson. It'd probably be O'Shawn Mathis, which
Yeah.
I don't think he's on either publication. Correct me if I'm wrong.
Athlon's got him.
Athlon's got him. Okay. Or maybe a Luke Reimer I could see as a first
right?
team.
Yeah.
Garrett, that surprises me. I tell you what, though, if Garrett Nelson is a first team all Big Ten selection, Nebraska's going to have a really good season. A really good season.
Oh yeah. But the other thing is he going to be a linebacker? Or is he? If they move to
You
4-3,
think they'll move him to end?
I think they're going to move him to end. So, or that's kind of going to be his
Yeah.
more natural position. So I don't even know if he's kind of listed out of position
Qualified,
here.
Right.
If I had to pick an all Big Ten linebacker, I think O'Shawn's the same way. He's going to be kind of more of an end. So I'd have to go with Reimer.
Yeah.
So it's kind of interesting, but
Yeah.
that's where they went. So, hey, I'm not going to fight it. I'll take a
Yeah.
first team preseason selection one way or the other from Lindy's. No first teamer for Nebraska, but they do have a second teamer. That is where Lindy's does have Luke Reimer as the second
Luke
team
Reimer.
linebacker, which is fair enough. I
Yeah.
think that's
I'd agree with that.
certainly could end up that way. Second team for Athlon. They have Aiden O'Connell in there, by the way. Shout out. I'm a
That's
big
your boy.
Aiden O'Connell
I
guy.
know you are.
Muhammad Ibrahim, returning from injury from Minnesota, is on there too. Nebraska represented in Athlon by O'Shawn Mathis at defensive line. So they do project him as a defensive lineman.
And I'd agree with that.
Yeah.
I think, especially if you're switching to the 4-3, which by all indications you probably are, that makes sense.
So Athlon really likes their pass rush.
Yeah.
I think. And I
Which-
do too. I'm
Again,
excited for it. Yeah.
But if you have Garrett Nelson and O'Shawn Matt, if they're first or second team all Big Ten, that means that you have to assume they have what, 8 sacks at
Yeah.
least. If you have 16 sacks on the defensive line with your ends, you're doing something right.
Yeah, throw Caleb Tanner in there too. Who knows what he's going to be able to add?
Yeah, and even the interior. I mean, usually you're not going to get that many sacks from the interior,
right.
but a Ty Robinson, a Devin Drew
could add a few.
This team could lead the Big Ten in sacks. Did I say it? Okay, I said it. I said it.
Yeah, I threw it out there. Lindy's third team All Big Ten teams is a little bit more represented by Nebraska. By the way, just reminding you, Lindy's has only Luke Reimer among their picks here in the second team.
Okay.
Third team, nobody still on offense for Nebraska. Nobody jumping out there on the offensive line even for Nebraska. But on defense, they do have Garrett Nelson there as a linebacker. And also Ty Robinson on the defensive line. So Lindy's, between the three teams, has a total of 3 Huskers, all in the front 7, and not O'Shawn Mathis.
Wow. Which is what we said before. I mean, what, a month and a half ago, that was the biggest issue with the roster? That was probably your biggest concern.
Yeah.
Yeah. I wouldn't say it's a concern anymore.
Yeah. Well, it's never the linebackers. And it's hard, depending on what you do with Garrett Nelson and Caleb Tanner, where do you kind of, pencil them in at?
Do you think it's an indication of how good the offenses are? I mean, there's some good offenses in the Big Ten.
Mm-hmm.
Do you think it's more of an indication of how good the offenses are, or there's some serious question marks on offense for Nebraska?
I just don't know where you'd go with it. And we'll get to it here because Athlon does actually have some Huskers in here, but I mean, they're kind of stretches, to be honest with you. So I'll tell you what they are. By the way, Athlon here, third team offense, still no Huskers. Third team defense, that's where they have Luke Reimer in there. So expectations are for Luke Reimer to be one of the best linebackers in this conference.
Yeah.
And you probably knew that anyway. Then you get to fourth team, and I was telling you during the break, fourth team's kind of weird. Like, where do you draw the limit? When do you get to like 16?
Yeah, there's no team.
You're like, well, these guys are all right.
Yeah, we're dropping it.
Yeah. And that's where Nebraska is represented a little bit on the offensive side. Teddy Prohaska on the offensive line.
Yeah.
They really liked that 1.5 game he played. And Omar Manning at wide receiver.
Wow.
Yeah. Bit of a stretch. And then they also have Nick Henrich on their fourth team. Again, stretch, baby, fourth team. But I mean, you're going to have to be pretty darn good to be a fourth team wide receiver. And I don't know if Omar Manning's expected to be that guy. I mean, it'd be great. I think he's done well, like coming along. But
on the list of receivers,
I think Trey Palmer is probably the biggest expectation.
I'd put him at maybe 3.
Would you? I'd probably put him at 2.
The transfer from Texas,
Washington.
Washington. It's probably where I'd go at 2.
Isaiah Garcia Castaneda, maybe.
No, I'd put Omar Manning. I'd say Omar Manning's 3.
Oliver Martin.
But that's thing is, it's such a deep wide receiver room.
Yeah.
I wouldn't be surprised if it was similar to a Samari Toure, that someone really surprises you to start the season. You could see one of these guys making that jump. The problem is when you have your offense probably changing to, like you've said, probably going to air it out and throw the ball a little bit more. You need one guy to step up. And I think that's the question mark, right? Is you need one guy to step up. And again, what I didn't like last season, and tell me what you think, Bach. I like sticking with one running back. I think the entire direction of the team, you normally, more often than not, I don't like the quarterback battles heading into the season, and I don't like having more than one running back up until week 6, 7 that they did last year. Pick one. And the thing is, especially the quarterback position, it's such an important position. Leadership, just everything involved with that position, it's so important. Go into the season with one. If it's going to be Chubba Purdy, and I've been wrong this entire time, go with it. Just stick with it. Make the decision. We do not need to be going into August not knowing who the quarterback is. I really don't think that's a good idea. I just don't. And you might have differing opinions. I know we've talked to Brian Munson, and he loves the quarterback battle. I just don't like it, especially in a season where you have to win.
Yeah, I mean, I think I don't want to get into the space of handing it off and having it not been earned. So if Casey Thompson was clearly the best quarterback in the spring,
just say it.
Then give it to him. But if he's not, if Chubba Purdy, who was limited, remember, in the spring, and then came on late there was enough there that you think, man, if we give him a few more reps, he might be, then I wouldn't. I mean, I just don't think you hand it off to the guy regardless. Mostly because we're all big Joe Gans fans here, is because that's kind of what happened to him. Was like he from all the reports of the guys on the team, or most of the reports, was that Joe Gans looked like he probably beat out Sam Keller leading up to the season. But Sam Keller was the much ballyhooed transfer from Arizona State, and it just seemed probably a promise to get him along to Nebraska campus to begin with. And I'm not saying, I don't even know if it's better in the long term if they would have had a better year if Gantz would have started or whatever, because I don't know how much longer Bill Collin was going to last anyway. But it's just it kind of sticks with you a little bit. So I don't think that I know that Casey Thompson makes a lot of sense, right? I mean, he's got the experience edge.
Listen, is Marcus
well over him?
Is Marcus Washington coming to Nebraska if he thinks Casey Thompson isn't the starter?
Maybe not, but I'm not.
Don't drag this along. That's my thing. Is like, you need to go into the season with some type of chemistry, some type of leadership, and it starts at the quarterback position. You didn't bring in a guy that already has starting Power 5 experience and bring in his second, third receiver, transfer to the team if he's not going to start. It just name it again. Maybe it doesn't have to be now. I just don't think it does any good for you to drag this out. When have we seen that dragging it out works? Maybe like Georgia last year, if you want to say that JT Daniels was ever competing, but Stetson Bennett started. But Stetson Bennett took over week 2, 3. If that's the case, sure, go into the season with a starter. Just go into the season with a starter. I hate the quarterback battle, and I hate this. What if? Oh, they're battling out. Like, how do you build chemistry that way?
Yeah, I mean, I get your point, especially for this make or break season. I don't know. I don't want to hold out the possibility and like block the possibility of Chubba Purdy actually, because I think that's also been a problem here at Nebraska with Adrian. It was a problem with Bo. Plenty was not pushing your quarterback, basically getting a starter. I mean, they did that with Taylor and Tommy and now Adrian, and it's just like these 4-year starters who don't have, it's just kind of like, well, they're the starter. Who's going to come in and challenge them? And
I think Adrian was a little bit different of a situation though, because he came in with Scott Frost. That was his guy. He was riding with him no matter what. You wiped your hands clean. I mean, these are, besides Logan Smothers, who played one game last season, both your top 2 guys, quote unquote, are brand new. They're transfers. Mm-hmm. But just decide. I hate going back and forth. I hate it. I always have. And I hate that if it's a 2-quarterback system, that's even worse. I've always hated the 2-quarterback system.
Yeah,
never
2-quarterback systems are rough.
Never works.
Unless you got Tim Tebow for goal line packages.
Yeah,
then you got a championship 2-quarterback system there. Let's head to Derek there on the Honda of Lincoln hotline. Derek, how you doing?
Hey, I'm doing well. Great show, great topic. I'm going to weigh in on this name the quarterback now thing, though. Mm-hmm. There's 2 words that pop into my mind as to why you would not name your quarterback right now. And those 2 words are transfer portal. You can set yourself up for failure, and you can lose a guy like Chubba Purdy if you're not careful, even though that's a recent commitment, and I'm sure he's all in. But coaches, on the other hand, they have to play this a little bit closer to vest, I think. And that's probably why things change in the landscape as far as naming that number 1 quarterback right off the start. But I agree with you. It will be Casey Thompson, and for all the reasons you guys have enumerated.
Yeah, thanks for the call, Derek.
Yeah, thanks, Derek.
That's a good point,
that
too.
Is a good point.
That bit Baylor, actually, here in this new world of the transfer portal. Dave Aranda named his quarterback. He named a starter over last year's starter, Gary Bohannon. And Gary Bohannon swiftly entered the transfer portal and is now be starting out South Florida. And that hurts because, who knows with injuries or whatever. I mean, it'd be much better to have Gary Bohannon on the roster for a backup for what probably is going to be a top 15 Baylor team. That is interesting to kind of think about it.
It just helps that 1-year window is passed. That's the only thing I'll say is that if you enter the transfer portal now, you got to sit out. So you might as well just be a backup besides sitting out for the season. But I do see what he's saying is that in the landscape of college football, before that window of when you can transfer, you probably shouldn't name a starting quarterback. Because you kind of do. I mean, you get screwed in the situation. Because, again, I'm not wishing this in any scenario. But if you do have Casey Thompson, your starter, and he somehow doesn't get hurt and something happens, you do have viable options as a backup.
Yeah.
You do. And that's something that I would say last season you didn't really have as much. I mean, I'm a huge Logan Smothers guy, but he's a freshman.
Right.
I mean, at the end of the day,
even now, this year's Logan is more of an option than last year's
absolutely,
Logan. Yeah.
because it's the simple fact he's a freshman.
Yeah.
He hadn't played, and now he does have a game under his belt. He's going to go through an entire offseason with a new coach that I think is a very good quarterbacks coach. Kenny Pickett's a first-round pick, for crying out loud. I hate dragging it out. I hate dragging it out. I don't think it helps the offense settle in.
What if
especially because those 3 games are so important. Go in saying you are the starting quarterback. These 3 games you should, by all indications, win. Get a little bit of rhythm. Let's rock and roll and let's beat Oklahoma.
What if in the spring Chubba Purdy looked like his Casey Thompson's equal the last few days when he was playing?
This is what it comes down to. Who has the starting experience at the Power 5 level? That's why I just don't understand.
Kill Joe Gans.
That's it. But I think that right there in itself is, especially in a season like this, where you have to have success. You can't just go taking chances anymore. That time has passed. You had your opportunity, your window, if you're the football program with Scott Frost entered, that you can take a risk, you can take a shot. You have excuses. You've only been here 1-2 seasons. Yet you don't have your guys in the room. You're still dealing with other recruits from other coaching staffs. COVID happened. You have all these excuses. You have all these things that you can say. Unfortunately, you don't have that anymore. And I know that sucks, but you have to go with the safe option. You do. You do, Buck. You can't take a risk. You cannot take a risk.
All right. What if
so name it?
What if Chubba Purdy is outperforming Casey Thompson?
All right, then go for it.
All right, at that point, then you just
go for it.
Yeah, I'm interested again, and I think that the coaches were on a different page kind of coming into this thing, because we heard at the end of spring, Frost and in some comments has kind of been, let's leave it open. Maybe he's kind of saying that more for
because he's said that multiple times.
Maybe trying to get Casey Thompson to keep pushing, and Casey's a self-motivated man. I mean, that guy works hard. So I don't know how much he needs it, but so I'm intrigued by that. And just to kind of juxtapose that to the first practices when Mark Whipple was asked about why Casey Thompson was the number 1, and just kind of gave some answers similar to well, you know why he's number 1.
Exactly.
Because we went and got him a number 1 out of the portal.
This is what's most frustrating for me, is that a lot of times I think these quarterback competitions are created by coaches when you already know your answer. You know who's going to be the starting quarterback, and you're not giving him the confidence that he needs heading into the season. And I'm not saying that's always the case, but I think there are times when you know who the starting quarterback is and you're creating a quarterback competition. And I've never liked that. I've never liked that strategy, and I just don't think it's good for success, especially beginning of the season.
Let's go to John here on the Honda of Lincoln hotline. John, how you doing today?
Hey, guys. How's it going?
Oh, not too bad.
Pretty good.
Is this a 3-man race for the quarterback, or is it just one, and then everybody else is going to fall where they may?
Yeah.
Because I was after the Iowa game last year, I was in the Smothers camp.
So
I think he's a very capable quarterback. The spring game, Chubba showed us a couple things. I mean, it was a spring game, but he had some nice tosses. And we didn't see anything from Thompson. I mean, is this going to come down to 3 guys, or is it just going to be Thompson and then the rest of them? So I got.
Yeah, that's a good question. For what it's worth, Logan, I don't feel. I mean, and he struggled in the spring game, so you have to remember that
he did.
For whatever that's worth, maybe the spring game's not worth much. Like he said, I remember some frustrations with a lack of even having Casey throw a deep ball. It's just kind of like we paid some money to see Casey, and you didn't have him throw it
at all. The entire playbook during the spring game was very questionable. Very questionable.
It's like you don't have to show anything, But we all know he's at least a quarterback. That he's got an arm and
Trey
can throw.
Palmer run a post and see how far the
Or
kid
just
can
a
throw
deep
it.
route. It's not. There's nothing
Literally
disguising a deep route.
This is what I said too. If you're Casey Thompson, overthrown by 15 yards.
Yeah.
Just throw it as far. Let's see how far the kid can throw. I don't even care if he can, because you don't want him to throw an interception or something like that. I get that. Just see how far he can throw the ball. Who cares? And I did not understand the play calling. The only thing that I think hurts Logan Smothers is I like what John said, because I know we'd talked about it. I was buying Logan Smothers too. After that Iowa game, I think he put them in every single position to win, and that was not his fault that they lost the game.
Best quarterback in that game.
He was.
Say, yeah.
And I know he had a late turnover that really hurt Nebraska at the end. I understand that.
Yeah.
He's a freshman playing on a 3-8 football team, for crying out loud, against a team that's ranked and ended up going to the Big Ten championship game. And he put you in a position to win.
And that picks balls off left and right. Keep that in mind. Iowa's secondary, very stingy secondary.
Right. But he put you in a position to win. So I was buying Logan Smothers. It worries me how quickly Nebraska went to the transfer portal. It was like boom. Like after 2 weeks, we heard rumors of transfers coming to Nebraska. Obviously, Casey Thompson, when all of the shuffling happened, and there are rumors that other quarterbacks were going to be in Nebraska. Rumors are being thrown around. I mean, it was basically instantaneous. They were looking. That's the only thing that worries me about Logan Smothers.
Not just looking, and then it's just the result too. Not only did they find a starter in the portal, they went and grabbed 2 guys out of the portal.
Right.
A starter and a guy to build behind that starter.
Yeah.
It does not signal well for Logan. I continue to admire the fact that he's still here.
I agree.
And fighting.
I agree.
And maybe he'll get paid off for it. We talked about before the 2010 season. We thought it was Zachary and Cody Green. All of a sudden, this redshirt freshman Taylor Martinez takes a job. We're going, who's this guy? So there can be a surprise in there. But I don't know. I personally don't see it as the 3-man race. I think it's a 2-man race, and one of them's got quite a good lead.
I think I think we all know, and I can only speculate, I think the coaches have a pretty good idea.
Yeah.
I think we all have a pretty good idea. It's out in the open. I'm just saying do it sooner than later.
Well, again, Casey was the starter that they got out of the portal. You know what you have in Casey. So if you're Chuba or if you're Logan, you have to massively outplay him.
You had one
to get
of
an
his
opportunity.
Receivers at his former school transfer for him. For crying out loud. Also, Gene says, of course, he threw a late pick. Louis, look who he had to learn from.
I don't know who that is. Is that a shot at a Kansas State quarterback?
I would assume so.
Yeah, well,
I would assume
he's
so.
throwing that Kansas State quarterback's throwing some darts. So I suppose
okay,
that's fair, Gene. That's fair.
Right.
We'll take a quick break. When we come back, we'll get more into Husker football later, since you guys are enjoying it. But let's talk a little bit of NBA Finals. If you're Jimmy, do you take that shot? We'll talk about that next year on the block on 93.7 The Ticket.
Welcome to Heartland Flats Beatrice, your home for modern Midwest living. Our finely crafted apartments boast spacious 1 and 2 bedroom floor plans with incredible amenities, including stainless steel appliances, luxury vinyl flooring, modern electronic locks, and are pet friendly. Each apartment has its own in-unit washer and dryer, and our innovative utility bundling saves you money. Call 402-251-3020 to schedule your showing today. That's 402-251-3020. Heartland Flats Beatrice, modern Midwest living.
Yo, it's the captain, Rashawn Jackson. Join me this Wednesday at Wingstop at 50th and O Street from 11 to 2 for Husker Sports Talk and, most importantly, wings. That's Wednesday at Wingstop at 50th and O Street, the official sponsor of the captain. Order wings ahead at wingstop.com. See you there.
Adventure Golf Center is open for business with 2 mini golf courses and a 3rd course on its way within the month. Enjoy the current courses as well as the batting cages and a shaved ice food truck, and prepare for a new putting course completely uncommon in Nebraska and the Midwest with 18 holes of par 3s, 4s, and 5s, and a bar on the course. Oh yeah, Adventure Golf Center now sells alcohol too. Play the courses now and prepare to experience the new course within the month at Adventure Golf Center, 56 and Old Chain.
Another packed summer sports season means it's time to get to N Street Drive-In to fill up on all your beverage needs. Stop by for great deals on May's Beer of the Month for Boulevard Brewing, Tallgrass Brewing, and Glacial Till Ciders. Also, make sure to download the new N Street Drive-In app to order online and to set up delivery right to your front door. And don't forget their top-notch Crowler fill system. N Street Drive-In, your one-stop beverage stop at 1801 O Street.
The days of internet contracts and heavy fine print are over. It's time to experience hassle-free service with no contracts or hidden fees. That's the Allo promise. Allo Communications provides fiber internet, TV, and phone services with fair and no-nonsense pricing. All backed by a 30-day money-back guarantee, 24/7 local support 365 days a year, and a monthly bill you can count on. Don't settle for gimmicks. Settle for hassle-free with Allo. Visit us at allofiber.com/hassle-free.
And now, poetry from the world of Yum.
You need a treat, but not something predictable. Cookies, cupcakes, apple pie, it's all boringly typical. So here's a little rule of thumb. Take that income, avoid the humdrum, and get yourself to the world of Yum. The cakes are made for any celebration, every cause of elation, alongside every occasion. So get in your car. You would be remiss not to take that drive down to Beatrice.
Check out Grandma's Fruit Cake and all the delicious desserts at Beatrice Bakery. Welcome to our world of Yum.
Hi, this is Dave Osted from Osted's Golf. Let us make this your best season yet. Voted a top 100 fitter by Golf Digest, our master fitters have been trained by the same guys that build clubs for PGA pros like Rory, Tiger, DJ, and Jordan. Have old clubs? Trade them in Osted's Value Guide, or have our club specialists get your clubs swinging like new. Go to our website, make your fitting appointment. You're a click away from a better golf game. Play better, have fun, and shop Osted's.
Back to On the Block with Strick and Bach on 93.7 The Ticket and theticketfm.com.
It is time for hitting the hardwood here on the block. Maybe it's a little less intimidating now that we don't have a guy in the room that maybe has gone up against Allen Iverson and Yao Ming and all those guys. But we can still talk basketball.
Yeah, we can. We watched those guys.
That's right.
That's something.
Yeah, that counts for something. Like I said, Eric Strickland will be back with us here in a few days. He's making his move to Nebraska, so it's all in good fun here as he is having some travel days. But very excited for him in a little bit. I'm even more excited that my Boston Celtics made the finals, and they did not make it easy on themselves, and they didn't make it easy on me. I was holding my breath there. As of late, pretty late in the game.
Congratulations, Bach.
Thank you. It really has been a lot of work that I've put in, a lot of hours that I've sacrificed watching Celtics playoffs over the years, and none of them have turned out this good. They've been close before, just haven't quite made it, and so all my hard work and dedication has paid off, and I've helped the Celtics.
You went through the Kyrie
finals.
Irving years when they swept the Pacers in the first round. You remember that? I remember that.
You remember that?
Oh, I remember that. Kyrie Irving on the Celtics.
Yeah,
What a disaster
Kyrie
that
Irving's
was.
best minutes on the Celtics is when he got hurt, and then Jason Tatum and Jaylen Brown and those guys took him to the Eastern Conference Finals.
Who they lose to?
Cavs in Game 7. Terry Rozier and Marcus Smart could not hit a three to save
What year
their
was
lives.
this?
2017, maybe 2016.
That sounds about right.
Yeah, in that era, it was the first year of Kyrie, and then the second year they flamed out of the playoffs, and then soon after he's gone. What do you think about JJ Redick? Because there is the kind of the joke going around about how KD and Kyrie both left the Celtics and the Warriors respectively, and then 2 years later, 3 years later, those teams are in the finals. Do you see correlation or some type of
I think
really?
more than anything, Kyrie
been a few
Irving.
years.
Kyrie Irving has his own set of issues. He's just kind of messed up in the head. We don't really know what's going on with him.
Yeah.
Kevin Durant, I think it's a really bad look for him that you can basically replace him with Andrew Wiggins, and then you're in the same spot. And if the Warriors win the finals this year, which for your sake, Buck, I'm rooting for the Celtics. I hope that you do the same for Virginia Tech in the NCAA tournament.
Hokey.
Hokey, hi. Tech, VPI, Solar X, Solar Polytech, Virginia.
Not all that.
I think it's a really bad look for Kevin Durant.
Yeah.
That you can legitimately, it's basically the same team. You insert Andrew Wiggins, you take out Kevin Durant, and you're having the same set of results. And on top of
they already said that they already did that with Harrison Barnes before he got there. So I guess it will just compound that issue, right?
Right.
Like,
Which
doesn't matter if it's Harrison
we
Barnes,
don't- we
Kevin
don't
Durant,
need
or
you.
Andrew Wiggins.
We don't need you.
They don't need him.
And the thing is, it's a little bit different with the Celtics because Jason Tatum still young, Jaylen
Right.
Brown still young, even Marcus Smart, you can make it still young.
Yeah,
They were a young team,
and they're all getting their prime now.
right? It wasn't their time. They've aged. They're veterans now. They're much better. They're well prepared to be successful in the playoffs. All of that. The Warriors aren't. I mean, Steph Curry's 32.
Yeah,
Klay Thompson's 32. Draymond Green. I mean, these guys are on the back ends of their prime, and you can get rid of Kevin Durant and still be successful and still probably very well at least stretches 6-7 games. I don't know if they're going to win the finals. I'm assuming they're the Vegas favorites if I had to guess.
Oh yeah.
And then you're the favorites to win the finals. Like, that is not a good look for Kevin Durant.
I do.
all.
I agree with you, and I think it's starting to show up when you see the all-time list, right? When you want an all-time top 10, people were like projecting Kevin Durant's current success within his prime to the future, and then kind of including him in their top 10, top 15.
A lot of people were
discussions. And obviously was right up there with LeBron James for the best in the world. So it's like, okay, so how big, what is the ceiling for Kevin Durant? It's still out there. He can still succeed. He's still an excellent player. But he's dropped on those lists, I've noticed as of late. People are
as he should.
Yeah, it is. It's something that's going to hold him back a little bit. We'll see. Steph Curry, for what it's worth, never has had a Finals MVP. Remember, Iguodala won
Not
the Finals
getting it this
MVP.
year either.
Kevin
Andrew
Durant got the
Wiggins,
other one.
baby. Let's go. Andrew Wiggins.
If they do win. But what did you think about Jimmy's shot? First of all, about 20 seconds left. He's got a fast break. He pulls up and shoots a three, even though he's got Horford on his heels. A 2 ties the game, and then the Celtics would likely get the final shot. Or a 3 takes the lead. He takes the 3. Horford gets the rebound. The rest is history.
I always
Celtics
hate it.
win.
I hate taking the 3. And
Yeah.
I know it's the modern era of basketball, and I know it's a more
It's the kill shot. Is what he's going
it's
for.
a percentage wise, it's the shot that you have to take. Look, all the statistics, algorithms, formula, whatever you want to use in game 7 of the playoffs in the fourth quarter, that goes out the window. Score the bucket. Like, give yourself a shot, because then, like you said, I mean, after you miss that shot, you're done. It's over.
Yeah.
You're done. You take the shot that you can make. Maybe go into OT. I don't know. I think that the 3-point shot, not that it's ruining basketball, but it's definitely changing the look of basketball. And I know that a lot of statistics and analytics go into it, but when you get into the playoffs, man, like, things are just different. And Strick has talked about it extensively, which is why I liked having this conversation with Strick, because he's like, it was a different era, but still, when you get into the playoffs, especially game 7s, and when you get deep into the playoffs, like, it's a different game.
Yeah.
It is a different game.
Physicality, intensity.
And then emotions are running high. Like, I hate that shot.
Do you, by the way, think that speaking of that, gives the Warriors much of an edge? Because obviously they've got lots of finals experience up and down the roster. The Celtics don't have any. I don't know if I'm too worried about that outside of maybe the first couple minutes in the first quarter, though, because the Celtics have so much playoff experience. And once you kind of get going out, it's not like the Super Bowl where the first 5 minutes or first 10 minutes is a significant portion of the game. I think the first 5 or few minutes before they just get into basketball of game 1, that's the limit of the Warriors' experience, because the Celtics have plenty of experience. They've just went through game 7 scenarios. So they're pretty well darn battle tested.
The only thing is, in today's NBA, Bach, if the Celtics get down early, they basically just pack it in and call it a game. With all the blowouts in the NBA now, I mean, it's the Warriors get up by 20 in the second quarter, the game's over.
That's not necessarily the case.
That's the way it works.
That's
now.
been the case a few times in these last few series. I understand that, but there's a lot of runs in NBA basketball, and it shouldn't be that case. Is that if you're down double digits in the second quarter, it's just a game of up and downs, a game of runs. And so, hopefully we'll see a competitive series more than anything, and
that's
not
what
see
I want.
Big blowouts.
Because I will. That's the thing is, I've reached the point in the NBA. I'm just kind of a finals guy. I mean, I'll cycle through the channels a little bit and click here and there. I'll watch the finals. I'll root for the Celtics, and we'll see what happens. But the way the NBA is now, and it's blowout after blowout, and then teams don't play defense, and it's just when you get
These
down
are the
early.
top 2 defensive
I
teams
know,
in the league.
But that's the thing is, yes, and they gave up how many points? 108 a game, like that. Like even 10 years ago, whatever team was first in defensive rating or whatever gave up 85, 86 points a game.
Well, yeah, it's because
That's
people weren't shooting 25 threes again.
Which I hate too. If you get down early, you just start chucking up threes. That's why these teams, when they get down, they can't come back because they're not taking a high percentage shot. And then you start missing a few, and then you're down in even a deeper hole. Then you bring in Peyton Pritchard. I don't want to watch Peyton Pritchard.
Hey, Peyton Pritchard's a darn good ball handler.
No,
and he's a good shooter.
I'm not watching the
working on his
NBA
defense a
Finals
little bit.
to watch Peyton Pritchard and Grant Williams. Okay, I'm not.
Hey, Grant Williams is a good matchup for Draymond.
That is a good matchup. Also, Kelsey says, you guys think that Jason Tatum or Jaylen Brown are better duo than Steph and Clay? Right now, I'd probably say Tatum and Brown. If Clay was 100% healthy, we could be having a different discussion. But I don't think he's 100% healthy. I think he's still a little bit rusty. He's looked good in the playoffs. I'll give him that. But at this point in time, I think Tatum at any point in time will be the best player on the court.
Yeah, I would say so too. It's close. I don't think there's a wrong answer there. Obviously, we'll find out. And they both have very good teams around them. So I just think it's going to be an incredible series. Kind of a stat that I thought was kind of interesting is that Jason Tatum and Jaylen Brown being the top 2 scorers for the Celtics. There's only been 3 teams within the last since the mid 80s that have had 2 players under 25 as their leading scorers going into the finals.
Really?
The Thunder with KD and Russell Westbrook didn't win. The Magic with Shaq and Penny didn't win. And the Rockets with Hakeem the Dream, of course, and Ralph Sampson, and they didn't win. So the Celtics would have to buck that trend. But again, I think that they just have so much playoff experience. I'm not as worried about it. But history would say they might be too young.
The Warriors have playoff experience.
Well, yeah,
historically
they have finals experience. Even.
Yeah.
Let's get to Jim here on the Honda of Lincoln hotline. Jim, how are you doing?
Hey, pretty good. How you doing, Mark?
Oh, not too bad. I see. You're ready for the shootout, Jim. Sorry. We'll get to that then. Let's go ahead and take a quick break. He was calling in for shootout with Strick. Today's going to be shootout with Bach. I'm not as good of a shooter, so that should give you a better chance, Jim.
You play for the people.
Yeah, that's right. We'll play on the other side of this break. It is shootout with Strick coming up next year on 93.7 The Ticket.
2022 is all about staying well. And guess what? There are lots of easy ways to take care of your mental and physical health every day, like eating right and exercising, taking vitamins, drinking water, scheduling those annual doctor's visits, or just resting. That's right, even a quick nap counts. Because let's be honest, these days we could all use a little more wellness in our lives. So stay well, Nebraska. For more ways you can stay healthy, visit staywellnebraska.com.
Mike Schaefer here for Trek CBD. Springtime is here, and that means you're outside more in nice weather and maybe even having garage parties with neighbors. The drink of this spring and summer isn't your typical seltzer. It's drinkable Delta 8. Yep, Trek CBD has drinkable Delta 8 seltzers with mango and lime flavors for 4-packs and 12-packs, coming in a variety of mango, watermelon, lime, and berry. They also have hemp-derived Delta 9 syrups to put in your beverages, and as always, the excellent Delta 8 gums. Trek CBD, CBD done right.
Honey, what do you think?
Well, why is there a huge prize wheel in the middle of my living room?
Well, we both love Wheel of Fortune so much, I thought I'd build us a home version of the game.
Who's gonna clean up this mess?
Well, let's spin the wheel and see.
If you want the ultimate Wheel of Fortune experience, enter the Nebraska Lottery's Wheel of Fortune Second Chance promotion. Through August 2nd, enter any non-winning $5 Wheel of Fortune scratch ticket for a chance to win one of 3 prizes. First, you could win a real wheel experience, which is a trip to LA, tickets to a taping of Wheel of Fortune, and a studio tour. Second, you can win the Take a Spin on the High Seas package, which is a Carnival cruise that includes onboard credit. Finally, you could win a spin in the City of Lights, which is a trip to Las Vegas that includes spending money.
Am I in trouble?
Let's spin the wheel and see.
Enter the Nebraska Lottery's Wheel of Fortune Second Chance promotion. Scratch ticket top prize odds 1 in 128,000.
2-1 count, and that's a deep drive into the gap. Smith rounding first base. It's a stand-up double.
Hey, Nick, speaking of doubles, did you know Wings and Rings has 2 ways to enjoy their next level food?
Rico, we're in the middle of a game.
The game can wait, Nick. One way is to stop by one of their Lincoln locations. They have 2 great locations at O Street, Meridian Park, and 40th and Old Cheney in Williamsburg Village. You said 2 ways. What's the other way? You can order online at wingsandrings.com.
Your home should not be a zoo to unwelcomed animals. Let the experts at Bats to Rats take care of those problems. Dane has been a leader in wildlife and pest management and prevention in Lincoln and the surrounding area for 15 years. He can help you get rid of bats, rodents, and anything else. Whether it's residential or commercial buildings, schools, apartments, or churches, they're always a phone call away. Call today at 402-310-0904 or visit batsterats.com. Bats to Rats Wildlife Control and Prevention.
Allo means business. Allo means local business. Allo means big business. Allo means small business. No matter your business, if you need reliable phone and internet connectivity, you need Allo. Local service and same-day dispatch. Free installation. Symmetrical upload and download speeds. If your business relies on communication, rely on Allo. Allo means business. Visit allofiber.com/business.
You want to feel important. You want to be a part of something bigger, something that matters and can help change things. You want to feel like you belong. We know. We felt that way too, and that's why we did something about it. We aren't just Army National Guard soldiers. We are normal people just like you. But our part-time service in the Army National Guard means we get to be more. When our communities are in need, we get the chance to stand up and do something about it. We get to serve in our own region and help the people we call neighbors. Whether they are in the mountains of New Mexico, the plains of Nebraska and Kansas, the ranches of Oklahoma and Texas, the farmlands of Missouri and Arkansas, or the bayous of Louisiana, we are here for our hometowns. And together, we can make a difference. Take on your legacy. Visit NationalGuard.com to find out more.
Sponsored by the Nebraska Army National Guard. Aired by the Nebraska Broadcasters Association at this station.
It's time to play Shootout with Strick. Call now, 464-5685, to take your shot against Eric Strickland. Shootout with Strick. Brought to you by Buffalo Wings and Rings.
Time to play the game!
That is correct. It is time to play the game. You might have been expecting Bach's voice. This is not Jake Bachman. This is Nate Brennan.
Yeah,
you got to scoot over a little bit.
I got to scoot over.
You got to scoot over a little bit. Bach's trying to cheat already, John. Or Jim. Excuse me. Bach's already trying to cheat. Eric Strickland not here today. So now it leaves Jake Bachman with a chance to win. Maybe start a little bit of a winning streak too.
Yeah.
I don't know how long Strick's going to be out. So this is your chance to start a winning streak. Let's see how long we can get it going.
Never
Jim,
lost.
Jim will be the one you competing against. We'll go ahead and get him on again real quick. Jim, are you still there?
Yeah, you bet.
Jim, how do you feel about the year 2012?
It was a year. Beyond that, I might be just a 50-50 shot, so I'm going to play the odds.
All right,
I want to let you guys know I'm a Celtics fan too, so I'm hoping for the best for the finals.
All right.
Well, there you go.
Well,
A
I
little
hope
bit
you
of
win then.
Celtics on Celtics crime. Well,
Yeah.
Jim, make sure you stay on the line. We're going to go ahead and get box answers first to see how many points you have to get here.
By the way, the important thing about 2012 was the world didn't end. That was the expectation.
That is true. I actually completely forgot about that. I was kind of young at the time, so I started buying into it a little bit. It's
Yeah.
kind of a little bit weird, but
I wanted to make a bigger deal. I don't remember what happened that way. It was like December 21st or whatever it was. For some reason, was the expectation for the end of the world, and it just kind of passed over it.
wasn't there a movie about that too?
Yeah.
What a weird
John
time.
Cusack, I believe.
What a weird time. All right,
Yeah.
besides the point, we are all still living, so we are all still here.
Yeah.
So we will go ahead and start. Buck, are you ready?
I'm ready.
All right, in 3, 2, and 1. He becomes the youngest player in NBA history to 20,000 points. Carmelo Anthony or LeBron James?
LeBron James.
That is correct. This quarterback gets the best of Tom Brady at the Super Bowl again. Eli Manning or Drew Brees?
Eli Manning.
That is correct. This movie, based on a book and starring Jennifer Lawrence, would premiere Twilight or Hunger Games?
Hunger Games.
That is correct. This burger chain would take over Burger King as the second best selling in the world. Wendy's or Five Guys?
Wendy's.
That is correct. And the Moneyball. This quarterback is taken first overall by the Colts.
Oh, Andrew Luck.
Andrew Luck. Ding, ding, ding. Well, go ahead and let that.
Yeah, let the buzzer go there.
Aaron. Well, you beat the buzzer, so I will say 6 points. This is why you can never play this, Bach.
Yeah.
Is because you always get the 6 points. It's like you do this for a living and you study this. You also
It's
know
almost
so
is
much
like that,
about
yeah.
this sports trivia.
And
so,
burgers.
I guess you do know about burgers, too. That is true. I thought you were going to say Five Guys there for a
Oh,
second.
I know. I had to think about it.
Five Guys is awesome.
Big Wendy's fan. 4
I
for
would-
4 deal.
The 4 for 4 is, or the 5-5, the biggie bag.
Yeah, yeah.
Do they still have that, or are they on this train of you can't have anything for $1 anymore?
I think it is. I think they still have it.
Did they get rid of it? 4 for $4.50. They're going to do something like
it
that.
probably
It's
is.
only a matter of
Or
time.
just take one of the chicken nuggets out or something.
Jim, after hearing Bach's score, do you feel more confident or less confident?
Less confident.
Well, that's all right. Luckily, it is a 50-50. You said you're good at the 50-50, so as long as you can get all of those right, you're giving yourself at least a shot for the money ball.
All right.
All right, Jim, are you ready?
You bet.
All right, we will start in 3, 2, and 1. He scores the first ever perfect Super Pipe score in Winter X Games. Tony Hawk or Shaun White?
Shaun White.
That is correct. She wins a Grammy for the single Rolling in the Deep. Gwen Stefani or Adele?
Adele.
That is correct. This Thunder forward would be the 2012 All-Star MVP. Kevin Durant or James Harden?
Durant.
That is correct. And they would claim a value of $600 billion, making it the largest company by market cap in the world. Tesla or Apple?
Tesla.
It was Apple. And he ties Jack Nicklaus' record of 73 PGA Tour victories.
Yes.
What was that?
Yes.
All right, hear it.
I didn't even get the second part. I felt I lost already. I got spanked.
Oh, you did? I know. Well, I was going to maybe give you 3 points for that last one, we'll see, but unfortunately, the answer for that,
the last question.
it was he ties Jack Nicklaus's record of 73 PGA Tour victories.
Who was the first name you named?
Jack Nicklaus.
Yeah, Jack Nicklaus. Yeah, I
No.
would go with that.
No,
I
but
can't
he-
think of the name other than Tiger Woods.
Tiger Woods would be your answer. So, well, Jim, unfortunately, you came up one short. But luckily, it is not over for you. Go ahead and hang up now because the third caller will get $15 to Buffalo Wings and Rings because Bach, much like Eric Strickland, plays for the people.
That's
so,
correct.
third caller, you will go ahead and get $15 to Buffalo Wings and Rings. And in the meantime, we'll give Bach his shout outs. I don't know how I feel about this. We'll give it. There you go.
There we
This
go,
is my
yeah.
favorite one right
Boom
here.
shakalaka.
Boom shakalaka.
Yeah, there we go, yeah.
Give me this one.
Hell yeah. I said, give me a hell yeah.
Hell yeah. I was hoping someone would talk trash to you because we've gotten some trash talk to Strick.
Yeah,
so.
a little bit here. I like when Strick boos them.
I guess. Yeah, boo! Stricky. Someone's getting mad at my questions, layup questions. I mean, I can't make it too hard. That's the thing. All right, if it's you again tomorrow, I will make yours twice as hard.
Okay.
How does that sound?
That sounds all right. I mean, it's not like Jim wasn't too far off. He missed one question, right?
Yeah, but supposedly they're layup questions. I don't know.
Yeah.
I try to make them as difficult as I can, but I mean, the thing is, I don't want to make them so difficult that there's no chance in hell that you'll get it. Like in 2014, when Travis Ishikawa hit a home run for the Giants. That was at my old radio station. We used to do trivia and stuff like that. It was like this day in sports history trivia.
Oh.
And I just came out of the woodwork and said Travis Ishikawa. I didn't actually know the answer, and I got it right. So it was awesome. And
Nice.
That's my claim to fame when it comes to sports trivia. But I want to go ahead and give you the tiebreaker and see if you. I think you're going to get this one right. LeBron wins his first title with the Miami Heat in 2012. How many games did the final series against the Thunder go?
I think that was a quick one. Is that 4?
Here's
No.
I don't even know if you have that.
There you go.
There we go. No good. It was actually 5.
5 games.
So the
okay.
Thunder were able to steal one. I can't remember. I think it was game 3 or 4 that they would steal one.
Harden played awful in the finals. I remember that.
Yeah, I don't think Westbrook played very good either. But that Thunder team, I would say, is pretty similar to the Celtics now. They were good and had 3 really good players, but they were young.
Yeah.
I mean, it
Trying
wasn't
to
their
think
time
who
yet.
else do they have. I mean, they had Serge Ibaka
Serge Ibaka.
when he was really good, and they decided with
He
him
was
over
good.
Harden.
I'm pretty sure Kendrick
contract came up.
Perkins was on that.
Yeah,
team,
Kendrick
too.
Perkins.
And their
Yeah.
6th man was Tavo Cephalosha.
Yes.
Tavo Cephalosha
Great
was pretty
defensive
good.
player. Could not
Very
hit a
good.
three.
And he couldn't hit a three to
No.
save his life. So, unfortunately, that would do it for his career. I'm pretty sure he played like 2 other seasons after that, and he was basically. They had Kevin Martin, Kmart.
Did they really?
Kevin Martin was awesome because I
Yeah,
remember
he
I played with
was.
that team in 2K. Kevin Martin was
That's
really
right.
awesome. Kevin Martin
That's
he had
quite
the weird shot. No,
They had
Kevin Martin
him
was cool.
and Harden off the bench. That team was awesome.
That was a good team. That was a really good team. I think they just have enough bigs. Like when Kendrick Perkins is your backup center, and not great.
Hey.
Not great.
Yeah, you're right.
Not great.
Kendrick Perkins at one time was not what he was by the end of his career.
Because he played for the Celtics.
Well, yeah, but
And
I think everybody by the end thinks he's just this loaf that goes around and punches people. That's what he was by the end of his career.
That is
But
absolutely.
he was
what
solid
was.
for a while.
See how
Not great,
easy
ever.
that. Why is everyone now? Kelsey's saying 5 games. See how easy that was. Sorry, guys. I mean, goodness gracious. Make the questions harder. I'm sorry. I'm trying to make it fun for the people. Goodness gracious. Whatever. I do feel bad though. Kelsey's coming at you, so that they're not gonna make it to the finals.
Yeah, Kelsey. They already made the finals for one, but I think it's going to be a competitive series.
It will be.
I mean, I could see the Celtics have been disappointing trying to close things out. So I worry if they're messing around with the Warriors. That's what I worry
Yeah,
about.
I don't know
but
if
I
that's
think
a good
I
idea.
expect a competitive series.
We'll see. I do think if the Warriors win, they'll give it to Steph Curry just because I feel like they have to at this point. But
Yeah.
only time will tell. But we'll be right back with your second hour of On the Block. Eric Strickland, he has the day off. He is making his route, his move to Nebraska. So you're stuck with me for the next hour. You'll have more of Jake Bachman and Nathan Brennan, extended water cooler. So stay with us right here at 93.7 The Ticket.
This is your High School Minute.
With your Southeast Community College High School Minute, I'm Gus Cottle. The high school spring season has come to an end, but now Legion baseball is in full swing. In the senior division, Hastings defeated Kearney 9-4, Hickman defeated North Platte 9-7, and Omaha Gross defeated Omaha Skutt 16-11. The recruiting race for Archbishop Bergen product Cade McIntyre has heated up. After a strong junior season, McIntyre has received a flurry of offers from schools like Tennessee, Oklahoma, Kansas State, and Nebraska. McIntyre is a consensus 3-star athlete and the 3rd highest ranked prospect in Nebraska. Gretna boys soccer had a team-high 5 players on the boys Super State first team, including the honorary captain, Brett Perkins. Samaya Hogg of Lincoln Southeast was named the honorary captain for the girls soccer Super State team. This has been your Southeast Community College High School Minute. Learn more today at southeast.edu with locations in Beatrice, Lincoln, and Milford.
Gaina Trucking is hiring CDL Class A and B drivers. Gaina Trucking guarantees a 40-hour work week year-round, and their strong team culture makes it not a job, but a career. Gaina Trucking offers health, vision, and dental insurance, 401k with company match, an employee assistance program, and other bonus programs. Build a better career today with great team culture at Gaina Trucking. Learn more and apply today at GainaTrucking.com.
93.7 The Ticket, Fox, KFXL weather. Sponsored by John Henry's Plumbing, Heating, and Air Conditioning.
The Lincoln forecast for today, we'll see lots of sunshine today. It'll be a little bit breezy as well. We'll see a high around 80. Tonight, partly cloudy skies are expected with a low of around 52. And tomorrow, we'll see a chance of showers throughout the day. Temps will be a little bit cooler tomorrow with a high of around 68. I'm meteorologist Kyle Kucker for 93.7 The Ticket and theticketfm.com.
They say one great thing leads to another, and that's especially true when you visit a Great Clips salon. When you sit down for a haircut with the skilled and friendly stylist at one of our thousands of convenient Great Clips locations, they'll not only make your hair look great, they'll make you feel great too. And that's something you can't help but share with the world. Download our online check-in app today and opt in to get a Ready Next text when you're up next. Great Clips. It's gonna be great.
Action Plumbing, Heating, Air, and Electric ensures our home and office HVAC systems run smoothly throughout the year to provide maximum comfort and convenience. Routine maintenance reduced our operating costs just by improving the efficiency of our unit. Consider a maintenance agreement to ensure you too receive priority for services and scheduling. This helps meet manufacturer warranty requirements. Action delivers honest quality services we can count on. To learn more, visit actionlincoln.com.
Work, laundry, dishes. I was exhausted. I needed a vacation, but finding a way to pay for it, not so easy. Then I found it. A research study at Solarion. I searched the studies and found a perfect match for me. It was so easy. I earned cash for the study and booked that vacation. Plus, I made an impact on medical research. Find a study and sign up today at helpresearch.com.
You should consider the risks of the research before you agree to participate.
Landmark Implement, your local John Deere dealership, is searching for mechanics of all skill levels to grow with us. Landmark offers a competitive wage, full benefits package, along with paid time off within just 60 days of employment, as well as a 401k and a boot and clothing allowance. Interested in becoming a part of the Landmark difference? Apply at landmarkimp.com/careers or contact Deanna 402-310-7561 or email careers@landmarkimp.com. That's landmarkimp.com. Landmark Implement is the equal opportunity employer.
This is Lincoln's home for sports talk on the FM dial. Also online at theticketfm.com. On the internet. KNTK FM Firth, 93.7 The Ticket. This is On the Block with Strick and Bach. Nebraska Basketball Hall of Famer and 9-year NBA vet, Eric Strickland.
Strickland for three! And you're going to go out of here as the Big 8 tournament champion.
93.7 The Ticket veteran and lover of bread, Jake Bockelman.
What? I like bread.
Coming at you live from the Coppel Chevrolet GMC studios in the heart of Lincoln, America. On air and online at theticketfm.com. Sponsored by the Mercado by Certified Piedmontese. This is On the Block with Strick and Bach. Hold up.
We got one more hour with you here on the block, and we're going to make it a fun one as we talk some more Husker football, bring back lots of projecting and kind of thinking about stuff moving forward. Also, plenty of other topics to get to. For instance, I found this one on Reddit, and it very much saddens me. We know that Nebraska football, baseball, and basketball all had down years. Unfortunately, there weren't that many Power 5 programs that had such lack of success amongst all of them, right? The only other programs not to make a bowl game, to make the NCAA tournament in baseball or basketball were Cal, Northwestern, and Washington. I think there's Colorado and maybe another team in there, Syracuse, but they don't have baseball programs, so I think they're kind of taken out. Yeah, that's 1/3 of it. Any case, they didn't have very fun seasons either. But altogether, I was trying to run it down and see, okay, well, yes, that's awful for all those fan bases, but who had the worst record amongst all of them? And in baseball, Nebraska, of course, 23-30, Cal 29-27, Northwestern 24-27, and Washington 30-26. In basketball, Nebraska, of course, with 10 wins, Cal with 12, Northwestern with 15, and Washington with 17. And then, of course, in football, Washington had 4, Cal had 5, Northwestern had 7, and Nebraska had 3. So, yeah.
Northwestern had 7 wins?
3 wins in football. So, put all those numbers together. Nebraska had the worst year of all Power 5 teams in the 3 major sports.
Which means it'll be really good this upcoming year, right?
That's good what I mean. It is kind of surprising, when you hear something like that all the coaches will be returning, and we'll kind of, stay along that path. But I think that makes sense for the situation they're in. It's just, it's depressing, right? But I mean, there's no other way to put it. But if it makes you feel any better, it can't get worse. Like, you can't get worse. That's the worst.
It literally
that is the worst.
Missing. But here's the thing. And I know you're gonna probably hate when I say this. Out of all those teams, Nebraska had the best football team, I would say. If you put Nebraska against any of those teams, Northwestern, they already beat, for crying out loud. They're better football teams. I stand by that. I will tell you that. Baseball, they had higher expectations. That's something.
Yeah. Basketball, they had a 5-star.
Basketball, they had a 5. There are positive ways to spin this. And I don't think that, no, Jeremy, we did not add women's sports because if you did the flip side, Nebraska would make the tournament and literally everything if you flipped football with volleyball.
No, this is just the men's major sports, basketball, football, and baseball. Of course, women's sports have been rocking this year.
No,
Been
women's
awesome.
sports, we'd probably one of the few that made the tournament in every single one of them.
Yeah.
Again, football, I'm assuming you would flip with volleyball.
Right,
I think that's the only possible way that you could compare it to
Yeah.
two. I don't know. I understand why it would be depressing, but things are looking up. Basketball, not so much. That just might be, it is what it is at this point. Like, there is very little hope. There's very little reason to be optimistic. Like, Mr. Optimist
I
over
know.
here, like, I am optimistic to a fault.
Yeah.
I don't know how to spin that a positive way. Maybe if you got Baylor Shireman, well, maybe if you kept Bryce McGowan's, well,
Trey McGowan's might even help.
Look, I'm not talking about that. Baseball's got a lot of transfers coming in. I still believe in Will Bolt. He's a good coach. The team did win the year before. I know they lost a lot. They're a young team. Football, I have them at 9-3. That might be overly optimistic. They shouldn't go less than 6-6. If you're less than 6-6, this needs to be blown up. Like, this needs to be a complete remodel. Something needs to change. I don't know what. Far past the head coach. Like, something needs to change if you're 6-6. But outside of that, I mean, there's reason to be optimistic. I think baseball and football will be fine. They'll be fine.
Like how you just skip basketball.
Yeah, but that's
There's
it. What do
nothing.
you want me to say about basketball? Like, seriously,
New defensive coach.
Okay.
They're gonna press.
Okay.
They're gonna try. They're gonna hustle.
I mean,
isn't that good?
Yeah, that's sure. That's what you want, and I think it was the correct move to keep Hoiberg. I stand by that. He's had success at the Power 5 level. I know people hate the argument. Who can you get that's better? Listen, you've never won an NCAA tournament game. Who are you going to get better? Fred Hoiberg is a good coach. He's a good recruiter.
And
it is what it is.
They have that argument for football too, right? Like, if Scott Frost can't do it, then who's going to
I don't
do
like
it?
that as much.
That's silly.
Football, I don't.
Basketball,
it makes sense.
It's scary because it has more merit to it.
Yeah,
and it's
it
playing
does.
out.
It does.
And it's not happening.
Right.
And it's like well, what is who are they going to get?
Yeah, no, there is truth to it. Football, I don't like the argument.
No,
yeah, look,
not at
listen,
all.
you're Nebraska. Like, there is absolutely no excuse for you not even sniffing a bowl game in 4 years? Like, that that is inexcusable.
5 years if you take Riley's, yeah.
Right. I'm with you. I get that. I think that there's no excuse. Basketball, let's all be honest with each other here. Like, Fred Hoiberg's a good hire for Nebraska basketball.
Oh, yeah.
And I
Great
don't see,
hire.
and I really don't see a better hire than that. Scott Frost, Nebraska.
That's not
It's
to
still
say,
Nebraska football.
That's still not to say that it can't get turned around. Tim Miles was not a great or flashy as a hire.
Right.
But he lasted 7 years, made the tournament. He had undoubtedly a more successful tenure than Hoiberg has so far. So it still can get better. It just does feel like pretty rough. I mean, because this is like Hoiberg was, what are they saying when you're kind of dating outside of your outside
You're out of your
own-
league.
Yeah, out of your league. Hoiberg was kind of out of your league.
Yeah.
And the results have been nothing but disastrous. That's why, like, even because there's no like big answer with both these two. There's the big answer that was kind of there that the fan base always wants, right? The fan base can come to a conclusion. Well, get a 5-star. Get 5. You need better talent on campus.
We did that.
They did, and it didn't work. And it's the same thing with the football program. It's like, well, get some more of these ex-Huskers around. You need more Husker blood in it. Well, it's everywhere.
Hit the
And it
transfer
didn't work.
portal. Yeah, you did that.
So it's kind of sad that as these tenures have not gone well, they've kind of spit in the face of the solutions, I suppose, of the fan base at times. But basketball, it's really at an abysmal level for hype. They could turn it around. I think it could be advantageous that they're going into this year without hype, right? That maybe there's less of a, hey, this guy or that guy is going to carry
So
us.
they win an
or-
exhibition game against Colorado, and Tom Managa drops 35. And
Oh,
then
there's
we're right
still
back to square one.
I don't think so.
You're right back to square one.
And so I think there's not going to be any facade of we're going to walk into the arena and win based off talent alone tonight. There's none of that.
I think it's tough too. Say what you will about the history of Nebraska basketball, even as it currently stands, playing the Big Ten is tough, man.
Oh, it is.
And I know that they haven't
Getting off
had
the
success
floor of
in
the
the
Big
tournament, but look, you have to go in every week and go on the road in a Big Ten environment. Like that, I don't care who you are, that's tough to do. It's tough. So I think that's why I think Nebraska needs to get some momentum, because that goes both ways, right? I mean, if you're packing PBA and you're creating that hostile environment, like that's Big Ten basketball in a nutshell. Unfortunately, when you start the season so poorly, you lose a little bit of that, which I think hurt them on the other side. Bipolar says, on the baseball note, I've got no worries with Will at all. Look at what Mississippi State, last year's national champ, and the likes of NC State College World Series team did this year. I mean, it's true. NC State and Mississippi State both missed the tournament entirely. That's just baseball. Baseball, I'm not worried about. You're a lot more worried about football than I am. Look, football has done everything that Husker fans asked. Literally, outside of maybe making an addition or two on the offensive line.
When? Oh, okay.
No. I'm talking about in the offseason. You said you wanted to change up the coaching staff. You did that. You wanted to hit the transfer portal and fill the gaps. You did that. Your recruiting classes are on the up and up. You're looking better. You're starting to recruit the state. We've done that. Maybe you need some offensive line help. You need a transfer to. That's maybe the only argument you can have. They've checked off all the boxes. I'm not worried about the football program as much as you are.
Well, and again, this goes to being around a little bit. I know that Nebraska wins the offseason every year, and I know that Frost, for what it's worth, I'm not just saying that or throwing it out there, has filled the holes in the past of the depth chart really well. I think of all the things. I mean, the laundry list of things that he hasn't done well at Nebraska as far as the head coach. But among the top things that he has done well, I would say is as offseason additions to fill the holes. Now, they don't always fill perfectly. It hasn't always turned into a hit rate of 100%. I don't think these guys will either. Which is, it's hard to guess where it's going to be.
You're giving yourself a chance, though. There's 16 transfers, 15?
Yeah, but that's a lot of holes. I mean, even if you hit 50%, there
50%. With what's returning, I would say 50% puts you in a position to win 8-9 games. If you hit 50%.
Yeah, I mean, it's tough though, because even as we're talking about the preseason magazines and who's the cover athlete, and it's just hard to kind of think of without the transfer portal, where would this team be?
But that's a big part of it, though. That's college football now, and I completely agree. Without the transfer portal, we may be having some different discussions right now. But the transfer portal does exist, and Nebraska was the 6th best team at hitting the transfer portal. And we've talked to Brian Munson, we've talked to Evan Bland. They're probably not done. So,
well, they might be done now. It's kind of getting a feeling. It's
but there might be another guy or two that comes in, and you put yourself in a position to be successful. Will it work out on the football field? I don't know. You're giving yourself a shot. And if I just showed you on paper right now, and I know that's difficult to do for Nebraska football, we saw that last season because it was the most talented team they've had in years, especially when it comes to getting drafted in the NFL. I mean, the most players drafted,
postseason awards,
all of that. Yeah, the most talented team. So on paper, it can look different. But if they have a season like they did last year and they're just as competitive, I would be shocked if they didn't get 6 wins.
Yeah, I mean, it's so fascinating when you talk about it every day, right? Is 6 wins enough? It would be Frost's best season, but if the talent is similar to last year's, you're still underproducing. I mean, seriously. And there's an argument about whether the talent is in that position. That's what was so frustrating about last year. Is that team should have won 8 games, maybe with that difficult schedule, probably 7 or whatever. But
I mean, still probably more.
Yeah. And if they've done well enough in the transfer portal to have somewhere close to the same amount of talent, and maybe it's not, talent's always hard to gauge, right? Is it, maybe it's, couple guys at the top are more talented on last year's team, but there's more talented depth on this year's team. I think there's a possibility of that. Maybe
I'd agree.
Maybe we're completely wrong. Maybe O'Shawn Mathis is more talented than Cam Jurgens and Cam Taylor-Britt. That's a
possibility.
Maybe you have another second team All-American and another tight end of the year. Don't think so, but maybe it's a possibility.
Casey Thompson, he could be 3rd team All Big Ten. I don't. Third best quarterback in the Big Ten. I stand by that. Wait until the season plays out.
Who's your second teamer?
Ain't no Connell.
Yeah, there's
I know. I hate saying it because I know that you love him. No, he's pretty good. But I wouldn't put it past him to be third. Who do they have as third?
I'll take a look here. I'm pretty sure you're not going to like it. Lindy's has C.J. Stroud, obviously, as their first team quarterback.
Ain't no Connell.
Yeah,
I would
within-
assume the
yep.
second team. Yeah.
And then a guy by the name of Tala Tagovailoa.
Give me Casey Thompson. Don't even get me started on Baby Tua. Yeah, no, scrap that. Throw the magazine away. I wouldn't be surprised to see him third team. Look, I know you
Peyton
don't
Thorne?
like just maybe. I know you don't like just plucking guys and putting them in, but there's something to be said for this 6th-ranked recruiting class when it comes to transfer portal, and there's something to be said for the coaching staff and Scott Frost to put together this team for you to be able to convince these transfers to get there. I would be stunned, and I know I haven't been hurt like you have. I would be stunned if they don't win 6 games. It would blow my mind. It would legitimately blow my mind.
I can't be in the stunned portion.
I would be
a team that
with this much talent.
They had a lot of talent last year. I know the schedule was tough.
I mean, there were some publications that had the most difficult schedule in the country.
That's fine.
Like legitimately,
3-9 is the worst season Nebraska's had in decades.
And a team that made it to the college football playoff, you're an Adrian Martinez slip up from winning. A team that won the Rose Bowl, you're an Adrian Martinez slip up from winning. Against Michigan State, who beat the team that went to the playoff and ended up going to a New Year's Six bowl game. I'm pretty sure they ended up beating Pitt.
They beat Pitt, yeah.
But Kenneth Walker, Kenny Pickett, blah, 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 whatever.
Yeah.
A team that wins the Peach Bowl, you're a special team slip up from winning. Okay.
Okay. Tell me about Aiden O'Connell. Were you a slip up away from there?
No, that was a few slip.
Tell me about Minnesota. You
that was
slip up away from there.
But the thing is,
how about Iowa? Are you a slip up away from there?
Yes, Iowa, you are a slip up.
Tell
away.
me about Illinois.
Special teams. Yes, Illinois is done. So I just named you 4 games. 4 games against legitimate competition. I'm telling you.
I hope again. I don't know how much last year's results translate. I don't know how much I want last year's results to translate. But I don't know if this team. I mean, this team's so different. I don't know if they're as close as last year's team. They're gonna have to earn that for whatever that is worth.
I think it's comparable in the sense that you have this looming, I don't know, the looming cloud over you if you're Nebraska football. Like it has to be, especially for the guys that are returning. For all the expectations and how you literally found a new way to lose every single game. Like Wet Blanket brings up Purdue. Adrian Martinez, like they were in that game against Purdue, and Adrian Martinez threw 4 picks. 4. Like they found a way to lose every single game in a different way. And that has to be in the back of your head. Look, sports is a very mental game. And I think that's why it might be comparable.
They shrunk in winning time.
And I think that would be the biggest issue going into this year is that same trend continues. And I don't know how you get out of something like that. I don't.
Maybe travel halfway around the world and look for some luck.
Look at the Irish.
What better way to look for luck than going to Ireland? That still is fascinating more than anything. And I know it's not going to get a whole lot of national attention one way or the other. I guess you think if they start 3-0, they'll be ranked or whatever.
I do think so. At least have 10 votes.
At least have 10 receiving votes. But I think that's fascinating because I can't in my right mind find a loss there. At the same time, Frost has still not won 3 games in a row at Nebraska. So
I love that you said that.
It would be a great turning of the tide, right? I mean, that would be a good indicator early on that
great way to start.
Things are moving in the right direction. You have not done it before, cross something off the list. I know it's not huge, but winning 3 games in a row.
And one of them, say what you will, it's a Big Ten game.
Yeah.
You start out 1-0 in the Big Ten. And I know Northwestern's not good. There's something to be said for that.
I'm a little bit worried about Clay Helton. And not because I think...
What are we doing?
It's not because I think Georgia Southern is in position to beat Nebraska. It's because I think what would probably, rightfully, and just makes sense for the Scott Frost era is for Clay Helton to go to Georgia Southern and end his career and beat
I mean, it would.
That's what
it would
Scott Frost's
essentially
career
end it.
has been building up to. So
no,
far.
that would essentially end it. But come on,
Yeah.
Nebraska. If they don't start 3-0, I think that's a problem. And we don't know how Northwestern's going to shape up. But look, we know what Northwestern is, and we know the situation that they're in.
Yeah.
We all see it. The writing is on the wall. Northwestern's going to be bad for a couple of years. It's just the reality of the situation. I don't care if they win 6 or 7 games this year. They're not a great football team. They got a good head coach. I'll give them that 10 times out of 10.
Generally don't get it takes them a while to get in a midseason form. That's why it's called midseason form, but them especially, they don't play well out of the gate usually.
You should be 3-0.
They should be 3-0 without a doubt.
You should be, and it's like, it's not even like they like, it's past they should be. I don't even know what word you would use to describe, like, not that they will be, because you obviously can't predict something like that, but like 3-0 just gives you so much confidence heading into the season. For everything that has happened in the Scott Frost era, for you to go into a game against Oklahoma, one of your biggest rivals, and say that you are both on the same playing field. You're both undefeated. That is great, man. Like, that's like that there's something to be said for that. And I think the team needs that.
Nebraska was 2-1 going into Norman last year.
With a terrible loss to Illinois. To a horrible, horrible loss.
Yeah.
And almost won that game.
And again, the Buffalo game is the most.
Oh my
that's
God.
what I think is
was bad.
Almost a worse indictment on them than any of their losses. Is that when they did win, they just fumbled around and only scored 28.
They
I mean,
covered the
hats
spread,
off
though.
to the defense. Well, the defense played magnificently. There's nothing wrong with that performance. Holding any team to 3 points is great. But they should have had like 56 points and they scored 28. So even in their wins, they were like doing everything they could to keep the game closer than it should have been.
I'm just optimistic, Bach.
I know. I want to
think
get
this is the
there.
year. I know.
wanna get
I think
there.
you're slowly getting there.
I don't think
I
am.
really do.
I don't know.
When was the last time that Nebraska shut someone out?
Yeah, it's been a few years. I know they shut out Nick Foles in the 2009 Holiday Bowl.
Nick Foles, nice.
Arizona. Can't think of one necessarily since then.
Huh, that'd be nice. Shut out Northwestern.
Yeah, that'd be nice.
How about that? If they shut out Northwestern and start the season 4-0, 5-0, because they'll beat Rutgers. 5-0, they have a shutout against Northwestern.
And
Are they
beat
back?
Oklahoma?
Are they back? Finally, then will we get there?
No.
Please, come on.
Well, it's what do you want back to mean? Back to what? Because Nebraska's been at the top. Are they back to the top? No. Are they back to?
You're competitive. You have a legitimate chance to win the Big Ten. When is the last time they've been able to say that?
I don't know. 2012,
2012?
Yeah.
Like that I would say in that sense, Nebraska is back. Yeah, no, they're not back to their national championship, but like we need to harness in our expectations at some point. Like there's no reason to believe that this team is a national championship competitor.
But that's the
There's
problem.
no reason to believe that they can't win the Big Ten. Maybe not win, at least win the Big Ten West. There's no reason to believe that they can't. Nothing.
The fact that they finished in the bottom of the Big Ten West standings the last 2 years.
But you could have said last year that team was better than the team that represented the Big Ten West.
I didn't see that.
You could make they played better than Iowa against them the entire game outside of the fourth quarter, which is classic Nebraska football. But I would say who was the better team throughout the entire fourth quarters in that game? I would say is Nebraska. Did they collapse? Yes, they did. And that's just the Nebraska way. That's what happened all of last season. They were the better team.
That team lost 41-3, by the way, against Michigan.
But at least you're giving yourself
that's
a
the
chance.
goal to begin with.
But what did Nebraska do against Michigan? They should have won.
Yeah. Yeah,
They're back. They're back to nowadays expectations. And I know fans probably are going to hate to hear that because you want to be a national champion once again. It takes time to do that. You dug yourself into a hole.
I don't
realistic
think anybody's
expectations.
expecting
No,
any
it's not there
national
anymore.
championship, except for Bob, who thinks they might go undefeated.
That is true. You have no reason to not expect them to compete for the Big Ten West. You have no reason not to. With the additions that they made, with the coaching staff that they've assembled, why would you not?
I'd say that you've given yourself a chance, but I don't think that I would go as far as to say you have no reason not to believe that you shouldn't compete. Lindy's has them picked fourth in this magazine for what it's worth. And it's not hopes and dreams and new additions that's Wisconsin at the top. They literally had the number 1 defense last year.
Right.
So I mean, that's what you're fighting up against. It might be defense, it might be Braylon Allen, it might be PJ Fleck. The record against the Big Ten West coaches for Scott Frost. That's what you're fighting up against.
Okay.
The ground and pound nature of Minnesota. All these returning quarterbacks with experience. It's not hopefully Casey Thompson.
He's got
fits
experience
in.
though.
Yeah, but he doesn't. I mean, Aiden Connell is very well set in West Lafayette. Tanner Morgan very much. I think he's been there.
He's like
8
45.
years. Right.
I mean, that dude's so old. And we got a few texts coming in. Ellis says it's very exciting. We have all these new great coaches. We have all these new great players. But one thing still scares me. The leader of this whole thing has a track record of pooping his pants when the bullets are flying. CJ says his expectations are back to relevance.
Yeah.
I would probably agree with the current situation of Nebraska football. I think that's a very good way to put it.
Yeah.
Back to relevance. I'd agree with that.
In general, I think you just want to be in the top 25 and, having a
There's
puncher's
some
chance
buzz.
to punch up a little
There's some buzz around the program.
Yeah.
Like there's been no buzz. Like there hasn't been like, ooh, Nebraska, like that could be an interesting game. Like that's a trap game. Like you haven't had that for a while. Ray says, you say we could reasonably win the West, which means one more game and they could be Big Ten champs, which has you in the tournament conversation. So how far off are we? It just depends on, like we said, what's your expectation? Because yes, that puts you in the Big Ten championship and you're 1 win away, but that's against presumably Ohio State, who has been to the playoff, who has won national championships. Like I don't think you're at that level yet.
And the West has just been spanked in the Big Ten championship game over and over. Hasn't won one for what it's worth, and a lot of times has been destroyed.
Right. Which even if you're Nebraska and you go 8-4, 9-3 this year, and you win the Big Ten West, and you get absolutely shellacked by Ohio State, I'd still consider that a successful season.
Oh yeah.
I mean, everyone gets beat up by Ohio State. It's the same argument that we make against Alabama. Like if Alabama's the 1 seed, you just pick your sacrifice to be the 4. Like, it doesn't matter if it's Cincinnati, Notre Dame, like Oklahoma. It doesn't matter. Alabama's going to smoke them regardless. So I think it's, unfortunately, we're at the point in the Big Ten, which is why they're going to get rid of the divisions, it sounds like. That's the same point you've reached with Ohio State.
But it sounds like everybody's getting rid of the divisions, too. So it's going to kind of be unified. The SEC is kind of starting to debate that, too. And I'm kind of sad. I'm going to miss the divisions. I understand, your 2 best playing, and it's all for the expanded playoffs. I don't like the expanded playoffs. So I like divisions, and I like tradition, and I like how it's been. And again, the Big Ten West, at first I didn't like it. I don't think it's the most competitive division.
It's cool,
but it's got its own little, type. It's got its own aura or feeling to it, and I kind of liked it, so I'm going to miss it.
A few rivalries in there, too, that I like a lot. Wilmot says we need to quit spotting teams 7 or 14 points a game and playing from behind all the time. I think that hurt Nebraska a lot last year, too.
Yeah.
I mean, more often than not. And then AJ is right with you, Bach. He says 4-8 until proven otherwise. Sounds like Bach. Kelsey says, how many wins will it take for us to get a celebratory boxing match between Nick and Nate in the ticket parking lot? I want VJ and Bach on the call in the fight. Kelsey, that's very creative. You're going to talk to Nick about that.
Yeah.
I'm down.
Have you would do some boxing?
I would. No, when I was in Blacksburg, I took boxing lessons.
You have the
boxing gym. I got my boxing gloves in my car right now.
Oh, wow. You're ready for it right now.
I'm ready to rock and roll. Just get me in that.
I think VJ and me would be very good at his calling. I get pretty amped up when I watch fights, and VJ, he just stays amped up.
I don't want to box VJ.
That
is not part of. I'll box.
He's
Nick.
on the call.
No,
yeah.
VJ, absolutely not. Wet Blanket says, did this conversation just get to, we're not quite Ohio State yet. My goodness. No, that's our point, is that if you're Nebraska right now, your expectations are just the Big Ten West, because like we said, the Big Ten West it's not great. It's not.
But
I think you have good teams, but
I think Nebraska's clearly fallen short of that being the expectation even. Right? I mean, because you just said it. You can have a successful season with 8 wins and not win the Big Ten West. We'd throw a parade if they win 8 wins, even if they don't win the Big Ten West.
I mean,
listen,
8 or 9 wins usually gets you there. 9 wins got you there last year.
Yeah, but you're going to have to do something again. I would love it. It's just sad how Nebraska's fallen off. We all remember Steve Peterson saying we don't want to lose, give this conference away to Texas and Oklahoma. Well, that happened, and then you were battling in the Big 12 North, and it was Missouri, and Kansas State at times was kicking your butt. And okay, well they fought back up, but Nebraska is just at this point. It used to be compare yourself to Iowa and Wisconsin because those are the teams winning the division. You haven't beaten either of them.
You're right.
Since the Big Ten West was created, except for maybe one win against Iowa. You're now talking about Minnesota and Purdue. I'm sorry, but that's where you're at, and you're punching up for those guys. They're beating you too. So yeah, if you're talking about not getting back to Ohio State at once, you might not get back to Wisconsin at once. You might not get back to Iowa level at once. You might have to be middle of the Big Ten. You know what? That's a significant upgrade.
It is.
Especially the Big Ten West. It's a significant upgrade when you've been dead last the last 2 years, or right there with.
I will say though, this year they need to get one between Wisconsin and Iowa. You got to get one.
I would love to say that too.
Like somehow, some way, you got to get one.
I would think
it's been what, 8 years for both?
Yeah. Wisconsin
9?
Since 2012 and Iowa since 2014.
Like you got to get one.
Yeah. Because the West is going to be dead. You're going to go.
Exactly.
You're going to go through the whole era of the West without having beaten Wisconsin.
Exactly. You got to get one.
Yeah.
You got to get one.
I hope so.
Start drinking the Kool-Aid, Bach. You're getting there. I can tell.
Yeah, I don't know.
Wheels are starting.
I don't know if my preseason magazine helped me because now I'm looking at all these other teams and again, like being reminded, yeah, O'Shawn's nice, but Wisconsin led the nation in total defense last year, and Iowa's got all these interceptions, and Aiden O'Connell is pretty good. So yeah, these other teams have reasons to believe too.
But I think we can both agree you will through week 5 you'll be 4-1.
I hope so.
3-0 to start. Even if you lose to Oklahoma, you play Indiana.
I would hope so, but I don't.
That's a start.
I don't know. So
that's a start.
It's a start. When Wilmot said we need to stop spotting teams 7 and 14 points, I was going to say we need to stop spotting Nebraska wins. That's what I don't know. Like 4-1 sounds great. I don't believe it till I see it. I'm sorry.
You said 3-0.
I can believe in 3-0.
There we go.
You're getting me closer to 3-0.
Hey.
We'll take a quick break here on the ticket. Or actually, this is on the block. And we'll be back with some more talk. A lot of going on. Aaron Donald still considering retirement. I'll talk about that too. Coming up next here on the block.
Shopping for insurance can be a tedious and frustrating task, but the agents at Brokers Insurance Agency will do the work for you. They have partnered with over 20 of the best insurance carriers in the nation, which allows them to do the shopping all for you. Whether you're looking for business insurance or employee benefits for your company, or you're looking to save money on your home and auto insurance, Brokers Insurance Agency has the agents and solutions to help meet your goals. Call 402-420-5353 or email staff@brokersinsurancene.com.
There's nothing quite like the Mercado by Certified Piedmontese beef. The Mercado offers unique ingredients you can't find anywhere else, open every day from 8 a.m. to 8 p.m. The full-service butcher shop and retail store is wonderful for meat lovers with their exclusive Certified Piedmontese beef and assorted sausages, plus other quality meats, including pork, chicken, and a wide range of the freshest seafood. Plus, every Friday from 11 to 2, the Mercado serves up the best lunch in town on their Friday Feast menu. Stop in at the Mercado today at 84th and Havelock or visit their website at cpmercado.com to see current deals.
Hey, Mom. Yeah, I got in a crash. I'm okay. I was wearing my seatbelt.
People count on you to buckle up.
Click it or a ticket. Brought to you by the NDOT Highway Safety Office.
Southeast Community College has learning centers in Falls City, Hebron, Nebraska City, Plattsmouth, Wahoo, and York so that you can take credit and non-credit classes at a center nearby without having to travel an hour or more to campus. By taking online classes and those at a learning center, you can earn your degree from SCC where and when it's convenient for you, all at a cost that won't stand in the way of your education. Learn more about SCC's learning centers at southeast.edu/learning centers. SCC, your path to possible.
The best time to have your air conditioner serviced is before you really need it. Call Bryant now and schedule your spring air conditioning service check. No matter what brand equipment you have, Bryant's trained technicians will thoroughly clean, inspect, and test to make sure it's ready to cool efficiently when hot weather hits. You'll stay cool and comfortable when you need it most. Just call 467-1111 to schedule your air conditioning check. Bryant Air Conditioning, Heating, Electrical, and Plumbing. We do whatever it takes.
Spring has arrived. Dust off your clubs and play the city. Lincoln City Golf Courses offer 5 different places to play, including Homes, Pioneers, Highlands, Mahoney, and the par 3 Jim Ager course. Plus, one membership gets you access to all 5 courses, or ask about a discount card that gets you 15% off all rounds. There's also adult classes with lessons for every level with Lincoln City Golf Academy. Learn more about membership and classes today at lincolncitygolf.org.
James Enterprise Incorporated, that company that hauls your gravel, rocks, and material for your farm or construction site, says thank you to the people of the healthcare community for putting yourself in the way of danger to save the public. That is what it means to be a hero and to build a beautiful legacy. This message brought to you by James Enterprise Incorporated. For all your hauling of rock, gravel, and materials, call them at 402-432-6740. That's 402-432-6740.
Early break with Sip and Jake.
Joined by Sam Cook, 39 years old from Seward, Jake. Played 16 seasons with Baltimore. Why do you think it worked so well for you in Baltimore?
With success of our special teams over the 16-year career, never left the field without feeling like I got something out of it each day. I always try to find a way to make sure I got each day got better.
Early break with Sip and Jake from 6 to 8 every weekday morning. Back to On the Block with Strick and Bach on 93.7 The Ticket and theticketfm.com.
We're back here on the block. Just a few more, 20 more minutes, I guess, for our show today. Then we'll have Ticket Weeknights, which is always very great, coming up tonight. Before we get to that, I did have a few things to run through. One is interesting enough. Aaron Donald kind of, I guess, decided before he entered the NFL, he's only been 8 years in, he decided, I want to play 8 years. Which is kind of a smart decision. I hate to see it, right? A player that dominant,
right?
But we've seen it before, guys. Calvin Johnson, Barry Sanders, of course, Robert Smith, guys like that.
Luke Kuechly.
He had injury. I mean, he had a lot of concussions, so it made sense there. But guys quit early, just to sustain their health. I'll go back to Dirk. Talks about how he wishes he would have probably retired a few years earlier, so that he could have more agility to be able to kind of play with his kids and stuff. So it's certainly something to consider. But now he's kind of throwing it out there that he has no problem walking away. He's still in a contract arrangement here, trying to get with the Rams, and he's basically said winning the Super Bowl, like he was set on playing 8 years, but winning the Super Bowl was so much fun. He might want to be into it again. And now him, along with Jaylen Brown, of course, of the Boston Celtics, who are now in the finals, have signed with Donda Sports. Aaron Donald and Jaylen Brown. Donda Sports is obviously Kanye West's agency. So it's kind of interesting. Jay-Z kind of started that, I suppose, as like kind of celebrity agency, and that's gone really well. I don't know if I trust Kanye really for just about anything.
No, I wouldn't.
So I think it's kind of odd. Now, obviously, for as much as we say that, maybe he's a mastermind. I mean, he everybody knows his name. It's
true.
He's made a lot of money in his lifetime.
That,
yeah. So I mean, maybe it is a good deal. But it's just kind of weird to see Aaron Donald in a contract dispute and now signing with Donda Sports. Do you believe that do you believe in that? I mean, I can believe it because I've always kind of thought that way. Is if I was in a game like football, a gladiator sport, where when you sign up, you're playing against just mammoth human beings. And you're also like, if I'm going to have a 12-year career, I'm going to break a leg and tear an ACL. And you just know you're going to have awful moments. And if you can get away with it and be a 3-time defensive player of the year and go to the just obviously be a shoo-in for the Hall of Fame.
Right.
Maybe it's worth it. Do you think about it too much? I kind of forget about it because he just made this announcement out of nowhere on the day of the Super Bowl. That was
weird. All like, what?
Yeah, we're like, wait a minute, you're making this today about you now? What?
That was very odd. I think there's two ways to look at this. Is if you're someone like Aaron Donald, it's probably in the back of his mind, like, oh my gosh, like I could be the greatest football player of all time. Like he is seriously entering the conversation of possibly the greatest football player to ever play the game of football. On the other hand, you set yourself up financially to the point where like he's got more money than he like through endorsements, contracts, like through everything.
Look at Tom Brady's post-football contract he just signed.
Right.
Yeah.
It's like you financially are set because of your success. You're set up financially for life without question. Like a very, very good life
in Los Angeles.
So it goes both ways. It depends on what's more important to him. If it were me, I would walk.
You would.
Yeah.
Yeah. Take the money and
take
go.
the money and run.
Yeah.
As Bo Jackson ran at Auburn.
Yeah.
No, take the money and I don't. But again, it's what do you want?
Yeah.
I mean, if it's being important, if it's important to you to be the greatest football player of all time, and you're actually in that discussion, go for it. Because if he gets 2 more Defensive Player of the Year awards, which he by all indications very well could, because he's still that dominant, probably is the best.
1, 2.
Defensively,
I think there's something to be said about stepping away when you are on top, right? Because we kind of have a different view of how Shaq ended his career. Now, it's, basketball or whatever, but you kind of think of those same different things. What would you think if Michael Jordan never came back with the Wizards?
Yeah.
We might.
That's fair.
Then you don't have that little argument there at the end. And of course, it's the same thing in football. Megatron and Barry Sanders. You can't think of a hole in their game because there was not a time when they weren't dominant in the NFL. And then there's other guys that kind of stick around. I mean, Sue's a good example. He's not the player he once was, but he's still considering playing. And I hope he does. And he's still a great clog up there on the defensive line, but he's no longer that all-pro type.
Right. I bet you the Rams too are doing everything in their power to get him to stay.
Oh yeah,
because your entire team looks very different without Aaron Donald. Very, very different. I mean, like interior linemen in the NFL are so valuable, and on top of that, like you're getting 18 sacks a season as an interior lineman. Like that is unheard of. And that's value that you can't replace.
Yeah.
Like it's literally irreplaceable.
No, yeah. He is. I mean, J.J. Watt, I think, is won the Defensive Player of the Year 3 times. I mean, we've seen some dominant players.
Nothing like Aaron Donald.
I don't think we've seen anything like Aaron Donald.
It's unbelievable. Like seriously unbelievable.
Yeah. Maybe Lawrence Taylor back in the day. Of course, we didn't see it, but I think people from that era would definitely argue that. But I've got to, Reggie White, the greatest defensive players I've ever seen. I'd have to put him right up there.
Yeah, I'd agree.
And maybe at the top.
I mean, if you ask me, obviously we're younger, going to be a little bit biased, but I'd say Aaron Donald's the best defender to play. But certainly the best I've ever seen. I mean, whenever the Rams play the Colts, I'm like, oh, great, you got to go against Aaron Donald. It's like the Colts have arguably the greatest offensive lineman in football, and Quentin Nelson, and you're still like, oh, great, like good. I mean, it's unbelievable. So I hope for the sake of the NFL he doesn't retire, but I would not blame him whatsoever, especially now all that's out with concussions and CTE.
Yeah.
I wouldn't blame him, especially on the line. Like you're hitting so much that your head. I wouldn't be surprised to see him walk. I really wouldn't.
Yeah, but it is kind of sad because it just came out of nowhere, and you kind of figured he's in his prime of his career. He's got a lot left, and he could be, without a doubt. It's one of those things where he could end all the discussion with a few more defensive player of the years and a few more Super Bowl appearances or Super Bowls or whatever, and just dominant performances. Just being him.
Yeah.
He certainly is incredible. We'll take a quick break here on the block. We've got one more segment. We'll wrap up the show for you. Talk about Nebraska's new license plates. What do you guys think? I'm a big fan. Some people don't like them because of the nipples, but we'll talk about that next. Coming up here on the block.
93.7 The Ticket is proud to provide listeners with daily opportunities to win contests and prizes on our airwaves, and would like to take this opportunity to remind you of a couple rules. All participants must be 21 or older and wait 30 days after winning a prize before participating in another contest. Once you win, you have 30 days to pick up your prize at the KNTK Studios, 330 North 48th Street in Lincoln, or your prize will be forfeited. Thank you for participating in our contest, and thank you for listening to 93.7 The Ticket.
93.7 The Ticket, Fox, KFXL weather. Brought to you by Bryant Air Conditioning, Heating, Electrical, and Plumbing.
The Lincoln forecast for today, we'll see lots of sunshine today. It will be a little bit breezy as well. We'll see a high around 80. Tonight, partly cloudy skies are expected with a low of around 52. And tomorrow we'll see a chance of showers throughout the day. Temps will be a little bit cooler tomorrow with a high of around 68. I'm meteorologist Kyle Tucker for 93.7 The Ticket and theticketfm.com.
Action Plumbing, Heating, Air, and Electric always makes safety a top priority for our home and office. In under just 1 hour, their team installed the state-of-the-art air scrubber system directly into our existing HVAC ductwork. This technology purifies the air and reduces exposure to common bacteria and viruses, creating a safer breathing environment for my family. Action delivers honest quality services we can count on. To learn more, visit actionlincoln.com.
Lincoln Win Air Company salutes America's troops for their sacrifices. There's no act more noble than the giving of yourself for another. As you fight for our freedom, you're in our hearts, thoughts, and daily prayers. Thank you for your selfless acts of courage and all the sacrifices you've made for our country. We wish you Godspeed. May God bless all of our troops and may God bless America. This military tribute from Lincoln Win Air Company. This nation will remain the land of the free as long as it is the home of the brave.
At first, I was really nervous and intimidated to buy a ring. I wasn't sure what I was getting into.
My experience at Starter Heyman was very easy. I felt like I walked out of Starter Heyman with the ring that was going to make her go wow and say yes.
I love my ring. It is so beautiful.
I absolutely love my ring. I get compliments on it all the time. I always tell them Starter Heyman.
Yeah, we would definitely recommend Starter Heyman.
Yeah, it was great. We're
definitely coming back.
Sure.
Sauter Heyman Jewelers, Lincoln and Grand Island. SauterHeyman.com.
You know you want that smoky, tangy, sweet, and spicy sauced and tossed Wingstop. But you just brought a haul of groceries home from the store. It's cool. No one expects you to shop and cook in the same day. So let the flavor experts at Wingstop hook you up with mouth-watering wings, crispy tenders and thighs, fries and sides delivered to your door. You can always cook tomorrow. That's why the fridge was invented. Get it delivered at wingstop.com.
Order online now from the new Wingstop located at 5001 O Street.
You know that feeling after a good, hearty meal? The worries of the world just slip away. Time slows down. Nothing but good times and good company. That's what you get with Mary Ellen's Food for the Soul. Mary Ellen's does food right, with a menu that includes smoked wings, pulled pork, brisket, catfish. And don't sleep on their sides, shrimp and grits, collard greens, baked beans. It's food that makes your heart happy. Mary Ellen's Food for the Soul, just east of 27th and Pineland. Let them fix you a plate.
You know you want that smoky, tangy, sweet, and spicy sauced and tossed Wingstop. But you just brought a haul of groceries home from the store. It's cool. No one expects you to shop and cook in the same day. So let the flavor experts at Wingstop hook you up with mouth-watering wings, crispy tenders and thighs, fries and sides delivered to your door. You can always cook tomorrow. That's why the fridge was invented. Get it delivered at wingstop.com.
Order online now from the new Wingstop located at 5001 O Street.
Back to On the Block with Strick and Bach on 93.7 The Ticket and theticketfm.com.
Nebraska's got a new license plate, and everybody's complaining. It's a tradition whenever Nebraska gets a new license plate. I don't know. I was curious to ask you about kind of how the goings on of Virginia or Indiana and their license plate. Nebraska seems to get one. I think the law is every 6 years.
Every
or whatever.
6 years, yeah.
And I think it looks cool. I think this is a cool license plate. Nebraska's kind of gone with chimney rock in the past, or a sun, or some corn, and
Nice.
So it's all like very Nebraska or the Nebraska state outline, but it's kind of been boring. This one, I don't know exactly what it is, but it's an ode to some of the artwork that's done at the Capitol. To me, it looks like Zeus or something playing with thunders. I think it looks cool. I think that's exactly what I would be asking, is grab some of the artwork over there from the Capitol. It's actually from the floor of the Capitol, so it'll be featured on the new license plates. And I think it looks cool. People are a little bit upset because
People hate it.
some people hate it. Part of it is because it's all done in like this faded light blue, or like a dark blue and a light fade, though. So you can't really see it all that well, probably from distance. I think that adds to the mystique to it. I think it's cool. You can't see a man's nipples there. He's naked. He's covered in the nether regions because his legs are up. But some people don't like that fact.
I was at the press conference when they released it. I just don't really understand it. Like,
who is that guy?
You get a mosaic from a guy inside the state capitol. Like, I don't know. I don't know what else it would be, but I just feel like there's something that could represent Nebraska better than that. Like, that's the thing
But
is
they've
when you
done
ask
just about everything.
But then when you ask someone like, "Oh, your license plate is this guy, Nebraska person. Can you explain it to me?" Everyone's gonna be like, "No, we can't."
Yeah.
We don't know. Like, at least when it's corn, you can be like, yeah, we're the corn huskers. Like, we grow a lot of corn.
Yeah.
But what are you going to say about this? Like, we have no idea. Like, what?
Yeah, but it looks artistic and cool. I like that there's a star.
I'm not saying, I mean, it
looks like
pretty
some
cool.
thunder, some clouds maybe.
I'm not saying it's not cool. I just don't really understand it.
I don't really understand it either. I don't know who that guy is.
I have no idea.
Man, his foot's kind of ugly now that I look at it.
See, now you're going against it, Bach.
Not a big fan of feet.
No, I feel like people. I feel like for the most part, people really do not like it.
Yeah, it's weird. I don't know if there's no license plate that everybody would unanimously like, and most of the time it's just to complain about it, I feel like every time the license plates get, we get new ones. People complain because then they have to buy new ones, basically.
Right. Which, I mean, it's a pretty good scheme if you think about it. So, like, you gotta buy a new license plate. Yeah. I actually, speaking of which, I'm glad it came out now because my parents are coming next weekend, and I'm getting my Nebraska license plate.
Are you gonna get the new ones?
Yep.
Cool.
I mean, I'm assuming if I'm getting a Nebraska license plate, I assume they would give me that. But
Yeah,
I don't know when it goes into effect. Like, is it available yet?
I don't know
because I've seen a few people tweeting about it. I'm like, how did you get your hands on a Nebraska license plate? Like, wait, I don't know. Maybe some important people do get it. I have no idea.
What's it like in Virginia? Do they have people hate their license plates as well?
Yeah, for the most.
Yeah,
the Virginia one, I'm trying to think. The Virginia one is very basic. But
there's some that stay for, like, California's always had the red California. I think Florida's always got the oranges on them. It's like some of them just
just stay the same, which is kind of
Colorado.
cool.
I think has been the orange or green mountains forever,
which is pretty cool that you have that. But the thing is, I'm worried. My Nebraska license plate, I obviously want it to say Hokies, and I'm assuming I'll be the only person in Nebraska to have Hokies 1, something like that. How do I look that up? 1, and do you think it's a good idea to identify myself so everyone knows who I am?
Because I'm assuming the only Virginia Tech guy in the state.
Have you seen a Hokies license plate, Bob?
Not too many, no.
See, that's what I'm saying.
Yeah.
Look, if you saw Hokies on the back of a car, probably fair to assume that it's me.
Yeah, probably.
So I don't know, is that a good thing or a bad thing?
I don't know. I don't think there's too much of a rivalry or hatred for them, but I guess if you keep telling everybody that Nebraska's going to go 9-3 and then they go 5-7, people might want to vandalize your car. Yeah. So this is Nate's fault,
but
he got us believing it.
They will shower me with gifts if they go 9-3.
Yeah, that's true.
I will be praised by many. Also, a lot of people are going to owe me an apology if that's the case.
Yeah, myself included. I'll be at the top of that.
Yes, you will.
But I don't expect.
Yes, you
I'll be
will.
Giving you any wings. I don't think I'm going to give you any
absolutely-
apologies.
You will be owing me chicken wings. You owe me an apology. I'm trying to think. If Nebraska wins more than 8 games, you're going to owe me something. I haven't decided what it is yet.
I hope so, and I hope I pay up on all these bets because I'll be cheering for Nebraska.
See,
I just can't get around to believing again. My heart hurts too much.
You'll get there.
You
stick
summer
around,
is coming
you
around.
stick around me.
June month is it's usually
Is that when you go to 7-5?
Yeah, once you get closer, then you start to talk yourself into the 50-50 games. You're gonna win them. There's a few of those. I think Nebraska they can move up, but I'm gonna try as hard as I can not to drink the Kool-Aid until it's earned this year.
All right.
That'll wrap it up for On the Block. Once again, thank you to Nate. We might need your help tomorrow. We'll see if Strick is still on the road. Strick will be in studio here by the end of the week. We're looking forward to that. Ticket Weeknights coming up next.
Southeast Community College is training tomorrow's workforce today with our nearly 60 career and technical programs.